Hello everyone, welcome back to Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. We are right back where we left off. Time for some more great stories. Listen to this, Dutch boy, loitering outside a grocery store. Works his way through a long and strange story about the shootout between a female bootleggers and the cops. There. What do you think? Wait a minute. Holy shit, you know this story. It's the story of the woman arrested for bootlegging, but violently altered. For a couple of moments, he looks too surprised to respond. Seriously? The boy insists. What do you think of that one? It can't be real. Surprisingly, the boy's delighted. That's what I told my brother, he explains. But he dunked me in a rain barrel and punched me. It sucks, you tell him. Kid shrugs. I put wasps in a cup and held it on his back while he was sleeping. We're square now, I guess. Move on. Story grew. Now. Alright. I'm gonna head down to Pennsylvania, then back down here. I love the music in this game.
Well, I'm gonna cast my stones o'er the waters of this land, and by and by
A farmer chases pigs haplessly around his yard. They delight in indulging him, and he's getting mad as he yells, "Help me!" he hollers. You jump the fence and give chase. Together you corner the young pigs. The farmer tackles it into the dust. For lunch, you share a fresh cut of pork. Move out.
my vagrant song.
Actually, if I could hitch a ride. If I could hitch a ride eastward, that would help me, would get me there faster. But I don't know. I want to go that way. I want to go towards the 95, I think.
You come across a girl picking wild blueberries. She smiles and greets you.
Anin.
She offers you some from her birch bark basket.
Thank you.
You reach in the basket for blueberries, but pull out a handful of small, smooth stones, all the colors of the rainbow. The snickering girl runs into the trees as fast and light as a rabbit. When the stones reach the top of their arc above your head, they turn into butterflies, all the colors of the rainbow. Your heart leaps in surprise. Incredible.
How beautiful. Girl with a strange stone. Where is the headless one? Where is this story? I head this way. Yeah, I want to go. These cars are going in the wrong way. A jet black crow alight on the low branch of a twisted tree. Look at you, it calls. Think you got some good stories already? Well, I heard better, much better. It seems to wink at you. Wanna hear my tricks? Ask about the stories. Ones you got now? Psh, pathetic stuff. You tell those stories around, they'll come back more exciting, more satisfying. So always listen to stories other folks tell. The tales are less true, sure, but more useful around the campfire. Makes sense? The boss has a point, but the true ones, though, Joe admits, they're extra interesting. You learn a couple folks' true life stories, and everyone will like, no matter what kind of story they think they want to hear. Now the tips? Well, everyone's the captain of their destiny. Gives a burst of laughter. Ain't no bootstraps in the world that can save you now. But the choices you make, they change the kind of story you can tell. It ruffles its feather in a sort of shrug. Use wisely. Or don't. Ha! Now, I'll follow this road down 95. Get some stories. Meet someone down here. Get to a new town, maybe. No, I don't need it now. Notice a black crow sitting on a fence post watching you with utterly unsettling intensity. Hey, it blutters. Hey friend, hey. Do you hear about trains? Because I throw the cackle. Locomotion. That's life. I got some good travel tips right here. You ever ride a train? Well, your budget, you need to hop on a train at a train yard though fast and convenient, but the railroad bulls really don't like when you ride in the empty boxcar. You get caught, you'll be beaten. It helps exit something on the ground. On the positive side, maybe you'll meet someone to trade stories with. But if you don't like the sound of that, you could hitchhike. Find a friendly car. It laughs. I feel sorry for you landlubbers. No wings, just motors. You can't even cross rivers when you want to. Only a safe crossing. Got a point there. I always do. You notice its beak doesn't move as it speaks. But before you can tell anything else, it flies off.
The stream is a clear, reflective shade of blue, unusual in this region where bog iron colors the river's brown. Across the way, a goat with great leather wings laps up the water, its sunken red eyes fixed on your every movement.
Take stock.
You now notice the unnatural absence of wildlife. No fish swim in the stream. No birds sing in the trees. The winged goat drinks with a forked tongue, only abstractly concerned with your presence.
Approach the goat.
Over the hill, a scorched one-room house lies abandoned, 2 of its 4 walls in ruins. The goat rears up, front hooves curled, and stretches its wings out to their full breadth.
Draw close.
The goat opens its mouth and wails. a protracted, shrill sound, indistinguishable from the cry of a human infant. It only begins to stop when you take several steps back.
I'm a leaf.
The winged goat doesn't follow. Instead, it lies down inside the burnt house, surrounded by portraits of a large family, glass frames stained brown from smoke.
Fascinating. Wing. Philadelphia.
The man is the color of mill dust. His smile creases his face like folds in dough. He gestures you inside the dilapidated structure and shouts over the sound of driving wheels.
You're welcome to sleep here. You don't want to rest by the river. Not in the evening. Insects.
I'll settle in for a break.
Man shoves the broken door closed behind you. The mill is warm, and the air is heavy with the powder kicked up by your entrance. You realize how easy it would be to drift off on this pile of sacks to the loud but constant sound of the grinding wheels.
Fight the drowsiness.
Consciousness is elusive. Your limbs throb with a dull fatigue, and your eyes are sticky with dust. The man suddenly grips your legs and drags you toward the millstone.
You do not love my daughter. You will not have her. I will not let you hurt her.
His voice is pained, not angry.
Fight.
Your hand catches a flour sack printed with brightly colored flowers. A puff of flour makes you sneeze, and you wake. The mill is quiet, its works long disconnected. In your hand is the faded remnant of what might once have been a bag or a piece of a dress.
Read the mill, for sure. Spend a while in the cool shade at this gas station. You notice 3 kids sitting beside the family car. While their parents argue loudly with the cashier inside, children seem embarrassed. You see the oldest brother lean over, distract his siblings with a story. Starts telling them a story about the taxi which shows its ride in the future. You realize almost instantly that he's telling a new version tale of the old-time taxi cab in Boston. But new, exciting, over the top it is. It tells it well. Parents come stomping furiously out of the gas station. You make yourself scarce, missing the ending of the boy's new story. The part you heard is definitely easy to remember. It'll stick with you for a while. Now, who's this? Mason, stay for your life.
My twin brother Paul and I always got into trouble, but we were good. We didn't do nothing to anybody till we left. Then we hurt a lot of people. Me, more so than Paul, because he didn't make it through. The march I was on, the bonus army, it's less a bonus and more an acknowledgement of what I've had to suffer. Civilians will never understand. My brother Paul used to love scary stories. Tell me one.
I'll do my best.
Paul used to love that kind of dark campfire stuff. My family, they were good to me. Ma and Pa, and to Paul, and to my sister Jessie. Some days I wish I could find Jessie again and have her help me. She always liked Paul best.
So sad.
Know any good jokes? I'm not so good at telling them anymore.
Want a funny story? Probably help you get. It's always a classic.
Wish I could tell that one to my sister. The past doesn't even feel like it happened. It feels like it's happening in every moment, in every slumber. When the memories come back to you, do they clutch at you, at your heart?
Always.
So, you must have seen some interesting stuff on the road. Anything exciting?
On excitement? I can tell you it's so exciting. Massive thunderstorm up by Buffalo. Heard it?
That's a good one. Better than war stories, anyway. Home. Well, my sister, Jessie, won't forgive me for what happened to Paul, so she won't let me back home. I made my own way for a while after that, till no one could afford gardeners. Who could stand to care for the land nowadays? So anyway, tell me a funny story? You seem like you know a few good ones.
Not the funny story, huh? Told my go-to. Eleven men whose ghost haunts Connecticut. Told you that one?
Yeah, Paul would have liked that one. My faith? Well, God and I haven't been on speaking terms since I got the infection. I gave the fucker so many chances to make things right, and he hasn't followed through. Do you know any happy stories? Hopeful ones?
I could tell you. Of the two lighthouse keepers, for example. I'll tell you about the story of the seagulls and fishermen, having hope for the future.
For a moment there, just a moment, I felt better about it all too. The future's the issue, ain't it? The Great War leaves us nothing to go back to, plucking up the hope and leaving us only with the vile and the unforgiven. Here's the sun. I've got to go. I'm headed up the road this way. Will our paths cross? The days come and go and the terrors return. They'll never be able to pay back what they owe me, but I'll always keep at them. What about you? Is there something somebody owes you?
Oh, I can swap out stories. I'll swap it out for the rider. The only one that otherwise doesn't fit. So he just headed up to, oh, he just headed back. Well, I could take a car all the way up. I'm gonna keep heading down. Go to the city. To Pennsylvania. Finish up there. Maybe head over. Hold the 95 for a while. Down to Ohio. I'll see Quinn again there. Back into Washington.
The mailman's uniform is dated and worn. He sits on the edge of the road, head in hands. He looks up as you approach. Can you help? Car clipped me. I think my legs... Well, I'd appreciate it if you could deliver this for me. He holds out a brown envelope. The letter's addressed to a James Gibson Sr., 120 J Street. But the city stymies you. The blocks run straight from I to K. You stop a man for directions, but he shakes his head and laughs. Someone's playing a joke on you. There's no J Street.
I'm gonna keep looking.
Over here. A woman in a brown coat overheard your question. She steers you down an alley. Someone's chalked a big orange J on one wall. I thought Clovis was late. Go left up ahead. Old Man Gibson's the third on the right. As you round the corner, the world changes. J Street is a place out of time. Like the city forgot an entire street a century ago and carried on around it, oblivious. Even the noise and bustle of D.C. can't penetrate this little pocket. The man who answers is ancient and stooped. He peers at the letter. I think it's from my son. I don't see so well anymore. Will you read it to me? You tear the letter open. It isn't good news.
Dad, I'll tell him the truth.
He fights it, but his face crumbles. Tears roll down his cheeks. It's better to know. I've been waiting a long time for this. His shaking hand takes the letter. Thank you for telling me.
Another sad story.
Well, I'm gonna scrawl my name on the bare bones of the earth. I'm gonna dig my heels into the ground.
Gotta hop a train right down.
When that very man come for to tally up my worth, I won't leave much behind to drag me down.
I'll go ahead into Philadelphia.
Well, I'm gonna heft my spade up upon my weary back. I'm gonna keep that stride stuck in my soul.
Oh, almost halfway around Philadelphia.
When my trains run out of track, I won't be no
So I might as well hop a train.
to dig my hole. Well, I got no companion except the wind.
I got beaten up.
And when
I'm hurt.
I'm gone empty, they're the ones who'll bury me.
The farm is loitering beside a couple of kosher barrels, a couple of crates of berries, idly watching the clouds go by. Waiting for the pickup, he says, trying to make small talk. Hey, you want to hear a wild story? Absolutely. They're telling you about the storm generated by a giant bird. Takes a couple of minutes, but you suddenly recognize The story of the massive thunderstorm. Whoever told it to the farmer changed, well, a lot. Still pretty good. Did you hear that story? Oh, I can't remember, he says. I think I've known it for years, since I was a boy for sure. I can't rap. A story happened to me. Bullshit! His laugh rings. That's rude. A good joke, I give you that. Really hurt.
Low tide on a moonless night. This beach is long, stretching toward a receding sea. In the darkness, the sand seems coarse and gray, alien. The stars are dim and distant. It outshines the stars with its presence, a streak of sickly colored light, leaving a trail of distorted fire. It slowly creeps along the sky like a vast worm, though you know that, given the distance, it must be moving at great speed.
I keep looking at the sky.
Its parabola heads south to north. In the far distance, just for a second, a boardwalk town is engulfed in light. With a rumble, its street lamps and windows dim, then go dark. All that you can see emanating from there is an otherworldly color that you can't quite name.
Fascinating. The light from the sky.
Well, I'm gonna heft my spade up upon my
This is a crossing.
I'm gonna keep that stride stuck in my soul. 'Cause when my toes burn low and my trains run out of track, I won't be no one else to dig my hole.
Supposed to be a story here, but I can't see it. Missed one here as well. I have down. Perhaps I can catch ride back up.
And when I'm gone and dead, they're the ones who'll bury me. Well, I'm gonna cast my stones over the waters of this land, and by and by I'll see
The edge of summer has turned the ocean choppy and misanthropic, and the skies miserably gray. The boardwalk prophetess lured you into her tent with a promise to read a fortune for free. Seems like business has slowed to a crawl already.
So there are tables.
Before you lie the instruments of her profession. There's tarot cards, Rider-Waite, but also Marseille for traditionalists, rosary beads and costume jewelry, and of course, the centerpiece, a great glass globe.
There. Tarot cards, huh? Let's see.
With practiced theatricality, she goes directly for the crystal ball, letting her eyes unfocus as though she can see a great distance into it. She brings up names, places, asks if you've known someone called John, if you have a relative in Newark.
I'll be a good sport. I'll get a wheel of fortune out of it.
You latch on to what she says, and together you dance towards some insights about your romantic prospects. It's relieving to meet an honest charlatan instead of the ghouls and ghasts of the road. You might even say you're having fun, until she abruptly stops talking.
What's wrong?
Your eyes, she says, her voice suddenly drained of the bassy drama that was her stock in trade. You've met him. You've seen him, too. You carry him with you.
The dire wolf. Yes, did you miss me?
The words that come out of your mouth are not your own. They seem unwilling or unable to form properly out of a human throat. They're more like snarls, warning noises of a vicious animal.
I'll try to move.
The glass globe shatters. Your vision is hazy, and your body is not your own. You came far to get away from me, the voice lodged inside you says. But this one has a way of wandering. The fortune teller has collapsed, cowering. Consider your debt to me repaid.
Back out.
When you come to your senses, you're lying face down on the rough wood of the boardwalk, sore and weak. An empty patch of wood, cleaner than the surrounding planks, is all that remains of the fortune teller's tent.
I'll move on. The cursed fortune teller. I'll wander to the 95. Hitch a ride. But is it going the wrong way? Waited in the soup line for over an hour, barely crawling along. You round the corner of the building and see far away a lone pair of nurses, struggling to ladle out soup to 100. Waiting here a while longer as the mother and climb beside you. Seems like it. You and her get talking. After a while, the talk would drift. Strange place and she starts telling her about the best lighthouse sanctuary. Souls in love could find respite. You recognize it as the story about the two lighthouse keepers. Way more outrageous than your version. I know that story. Tell her your version. That's not as exciting, says the diplomat. I mean, it sure sounds realer than what I heard. But I think Toby likes mine best. He bounces her child, encouraging on the hip. Toby's too hungry to smile. Lighthouse. The waitress at the diner is sharing an outlandish tale with one of the regulars. I heard it from my sister-in-law, she said. It happened to her daughter's friend, it's true. You noticed you listen. Hey, have you heard this one before? It begins with the story of the Thunderbird people who fly when they fall from high. Halfway through, you realize the story of the bridge builders, but highly embellished. What do you think of that? Waitress. It's an interesting tale. Sure is, Gregory, and true every word of it. I'm getting tired out, I'm hurt. I can't seem to catch the cars when they stop. How do I get off the car? You going to take me to the other side of the country? Or probably just all the way to Chicago. Fabulous! Probably find a place to rest. Up a little bit. Ah, sure. Eat this pizza.
It's the midday, and yet this whole neighborhood is eerily quiet. Everyone seems to have retreated into their homes as if warned of something. You soon realize what? The reciprocating sound of a Thompson gun, emptying its drum.
Run for cover.
You get behind a car, putting the engine block between you and the sound. But it's muffled, coming from inside a building. You're in no danger, you think. So you allow yourself a peek above the black hull of the car. And running down the cobblestone street, a man in fine, blood-spattered clothes. He has his hands out, mouth open, screaming something. But you don't catch what he says. He's drowned out by gunfire, and his body slumps to the ground.
Keep one.
The men responsible, 3 abreast in dark overcoats and wide hats, walk up to him to check on the body. The smallest of the 3 has a nervous energy about him.
People are gonna see us, boss.
People ain't gonna see nothing. Not on these streets.
Hello. Water Street. For a way to make I think. Hey, you got some time? Wanna catch? Sure. Needs help moving officers and back. They're like, it's a week now. People in this town are absolutely fiends for total jerks and live alone. Still making a kid. Wow. And the stuff though, and it's not sure it's right. What do you mean? Never read the ingredients yet? Over my hand, no lie. So that's what. That trip morning, he tells you the car and gets back selling for the.
Well, I'm gonna cast my storms o'er the waters of this land, and by now see
Seven. All the way to Chicago. Back here, Ohio.
around for to take me hand in hand. This will be my fragrant song. This will be my fragrant
I'll meet someone. Let's see what's stored.
The Twisters touch down in a cornfield, fence posts flying in its wake. A huge black stallion charges toward the tornado. On its back, a cowboy whips his lasso through the churning air, nearly matching the Twister's speed. His wild laughter carries on the wind.
What a man.
God damn it, Bill!
Another man hollers, clapping his hands to his hat to keep it from flying off.
Quit being a damn fool!
The man on the horse turns toward him and flashes a beatific grin before digging his heels harder into the horse's flanks.
Elster, that's
You follow the man in his hat into a root cellar.
Bill's damn good with horses, but he's only happy when he's trying to tame something bigger than himself. What does he think he's gonna do? Ride it?
When the storm clears, Bill and his horse have vanished.
Cowboy of Thunder. Cowboy who rode into the storm. We're amazing. Quite good. Very neat. On there. Well, and Couche at the gas station. Oh, well, the parents argue loudly. The children seem parents. Close by the lineage. Back to cinema. Percent of the story about the haunted mill operating by ghosts. Telling a new version of the kid. No. Fighting over. Yeah, we read.
She's getting married, the soldier tells you. The two of you observe the church from the dusty road, straining to hear the faint joy of the ceremony transpiring within. I fought for 10 years to come home because she said she'd be here, waiting for me. And look, can you believe it? So what am I supposed to do? What does she expect? That I should throw myself from the nearest cliff? Walk into the ocean? He snorts, sets off down the road. He seems surprised to see you a few steps behind. No, he says. Where I'm going, you can't come. It's only then that you notice. There's something very wrong with his eyes.
Classic story. Boss. Going to fight in the war. Finding out. Girl you fought for. That's a sad story if I've ever heard one. Franklin. Nothing left to do but smile.
Why, hello there. Look like that's a heavy bag you're carrying. Let me get that for you. I insist. You see this uniform? It means you can trust me to make sure this is the most comfortable journey you've ever had in your life. Who am I? Well, I'm no George, I'll tell you that. But that's not important. This trip is about you, friend. You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
Want excitement? I'll give you excitement. Story of the Thunderbird people who fly when they fall from high.
Whew, that's a wild one, all right. If you're looking for freedom, just think about how magnificent a train is. How the railroad binds this country together. Hop on and go anywhere. That's freedom, and that's my life. Tell me something that'll make me laugh. I could use a chuckle.
Fun sport. I'll tell you a classic. Two men and they stick each other for brother around Boston.
Oh, that's a good one. Very good. The past, that's a tricky thing. Yes, porters may remind you of a certain type of way folks of our type used to be. There's no fighting that, just happily working past it. Anyway, you must have some funny stories to tell. Share one.
How is Paul?
Might not be telling that one to the boys, actually. Travel? We've all got places to be, and we've all got to get there somehow. So why not get the getting there to be as good as it can get? See, that's really important when getting there is all you got. You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
Excitement, you say? Story about the taxi ride at Joseph.
Didn't I hear that story on the radio? You told it better, though. The future? We're making it. There's never been anyone like us Pullman porters. It's why we have so much pride. We're setting standards for future folks, and we know just how damn high those standards are. You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
I just told you about excitement, but okay, and the story of the shootout between the female bootleggers and the cops.
Whew, that's a wild one, all authority. Hopefully people who ride in a Pullman car feel a little of that. It's about more than a train ride. And not everyone knows what it's like to be the boss. to know what it feels like to be skillfully served. Pullman Porters give you a taste, so Boss George Pullman will know you'll be back for more. Another night over. I surely did enjoy all those stories, though. Maybe next time I'll let down my hair a bit. What do you say? You must excuse
Lovely.
me, friend. What kind of porter am I saying this trip is all about you, only to start talking about my own damn self? But enough of my indulgences. I hope I see you again.
Me too, man. Me too. Franklin travels. Ohio. Go up Michigan. This is a very beautiful game according to me. While it might not look too visually stunning,
The
it
plants
has its own
grow
charm.
and blossom as you watch. The man goes down the line, applying a few drops from a vial as he goes. As the liquid soaks in, each plant pushes up from the soil, unfolding and stretching for the sky.
That's miraculous.
He turns to you.
It's quite something, isn't it? Soy here strangles the crops. People are starving. But even when the plants survive, they don't grow fast enough to fill people's bellies.
He smiles.
My miracle formula will change that.
How does it work?
He shakes his head.
I'm not giving up my secrets that easily. The state will pay a lot of money for this.
He shakes the vial. He tears off a leaf.
Here, try some.
I'll taste it.
It's just bitter at first. But as you swallow, the fibrous mass burns in your throat. You fight to hold it down, and your stomach knots tight when the plant matter hits it. You cough and hiccup. The man looks at you, curious.
What do you think?
It tastes like unwashed death.
He waves a hand.
Well, yes, there are some kinks to work out, but people are starving. They can't be fussy. It won't be long before no one around here goes hungry again.
Your stomach protests. You feel like you'll be hungry again very soon indeed.
Dubious but promising miracle growth formula. Oh my lord, that is hilarious. To me, at least. That's really fun. Right? Explore.
The rain is coming down so hard. It's a wonder the sidewalk hasn't started to crack. You manage to find a narrow patch under a ledge where you can stay dry.
Wait out the rain.
A squat man, bundled up in a black fur coat and matching hat, approaches. The thick rain flattens and mats his fur. He squints up at you.
You're in my spot.
He crows.
Alright, fair enough. There first? Or well, he's a regular and I'm just passing by. I guess I'll give it up.
He thanks you as you step aside back into the rain. You keep walking, hoping to find more shelter.
Sounds back.
Now that you see the man from a distance, you're not sure the fur is a coat. A pair of red eyes shine back at you.
Keep
The
walking.
rain stops a minute later. You look back up the road, but the squat man is gone.
Well, I am lucky that I did not. That I actually moved. Red creature in the fur coat. And some money. The hospital needs some more floors for the day. Just gives you instruction. Rats have tapped. Rats every day. And floor 2 skips you. Any way to knock it down. Very important again. Before lunch. Got it. I remember this very important instruction, but it's impossible. Haven't seen her in an hour. There's a visit held. No one's watching. You try to find her. Oh, you bucket through the halls as you fall asleep. Have 50 people in the building. Actually find her in a room with a visiting child before to a mob. Rougher, she opens her mouth to a bunch of thoughts. Well, I actually don't remember. She admits just mop stuff. Okay, you spend the rest of the day I'm simply mopping stuff. The pay is okay. Move on. What floors do I mop? I don't remember. Just mop stuff. I wish all work was that easy.
The storm swept in just before sundown, heralded by a purple sky and electricity in the air. He sought shelter alongside a grizzled farmer. All he can do is pace, muttering to himself. Can't just stay here. You catch. Gotta find her.
Ooh.
He looks up at you. My daughter was out down the road. He balls his fists. God, fuck this. He hauls open the door, shielding his face from the fierce dust. He runs out into the storm.
It's a bit okay, but I'm staying inside.
The maelstrom has turned the world a murky red. The farmer makes it a fair distance, but you see him stumble. A whirlwind of dust forms, coalescing into a great dark shape which looms over him.
Got a warning.
The storm swallows your warning. The dust thing engulfs the man in its body. The storm whips faster, cutting off your view.
Up the door.
You don't manage any sleep. The storm settles in the early hours. You find the farmer laid out in the street, his corpse a shriveled mass. He has one arm stretched out in front of him, as if to crawl.
How terrible. Bombs, nails, I don't actually have any pop out yet. You go say hi to Quinn once more.